Veronica, and this is
Sparsh. Hey.
and welcome to the second episode of Shattering Stereotypes. Very exciting. Thank you so much for being here with me and agreeing to do this.
Yeah.
Super awesome. So I have some questions, and my first one for you is, can you tell us a bit about how you got your start in the entertainment industry?
Yeah. Whoa. Okay. When it comes to the industry, to really be specific, I would say, well, you know what? It started with my first performance.
Okay.
The thing is, I wouldn't say it was entertainment because it started through, the indie classical music that I was doing, the local temple community. So it was really like those performances that started getting me a tiny bit known. And then I guess when really entertainment you're talking about, you could say that it was a few years of doing that. So I started, I think, when I was 6.5, 7 years old, and then like
Mom?
yeah, because I started learning when I was 6. So it was when I was doing recitals for Guruji, or it was, what do you call it? Again, for the temple. And then going a few years ahead, then it would be like little karaoke events.
Yeah.
There was a local karaoke, I forget the name of it, but they used to do, excuse me, they used to do like weekly performances in the mitas nearby. So like sweet restaurant, mitas literally means sweet. So like this restaurant that basically did a little bit of everything, but they again specialized in sweets. Like different like that kind of circuit that was local, then it became kind of state, and then it many years ago it led to me getting to perform at the India's Independence Day parade in Times Square.
That's so cool.
Yeah, super cool. By the Federation of Indian Associations. So it was basically that, I think, is what really got me started. It was I think pretty much everyone starts up
Somewhere.
Yeah. You start out in a small place and
building it up to Times Square. So super cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome. How do you feel that your South Asian background just kind of influenced your material and your music?
Oh yeah, I love this. I think in two ways. One, it's hands down the Indian classical music I grew up training in. I've been learning Hindustani or North Indian classical music since I was 6, and specifically vocal. So it's been 13 years now. I took a little break in between, I think in the middle of COVID, but we don't really talk too much. Just kidding. But I've been learning from the Mewati Gharana, which is the Gharana of the late great Pandit Jasraj ji. So that is one of the biggest influences that being South Asian has had on my career, especially when I was in TEDx Gateway. I talked about raga rap, which was what I did in my whole cover album tribute to Eminem, which includes the Not Afraid video that got me like viral. So that video, I start with some people. It was interesting too, because some people, it was really weird actually. Some people would think it was like some like terrorist attacks like thing. It was so
odd.
It's so odd. Some
music.
people. Yeah, exactly. More people then started to realize, because I started to talk about it more, and I started to do more music, so it became raga rap. So rag, the main element of Indian classical music, it's like a scalar mode. That's a whole other topic, but it's not quite a scalar mode. It's totally unique. A rag, and then you've got rap, and so that came up with raga rap, and so that's what I'm doing. That was the baby form of raga rap that I did when I sang that intro to Not Afraid. One of the things that made it unique, and then. Yeah, I think also, I mean, in terms of just culture, right?
Yeah.
You have the unique perspective. I've been on a very unorthodox journey when it comes to culture and religion and spirituality, but like just having the background that I had, it now puts me in a very unique position to, relate to people, to reach out to people, and also to challenge the norm, to shatter stereotypes.
Exactly. So. I love it, because it's not only through your music, but also through your like motivational speaking and all that stuff. So it's
absolutely.
You go to the Berklee College of Music, right? So how was it telling your parents that you wanted to study music and go into the entertainment industry, since there's a lot of, again, stereotypes about Indians wanting to be doctors or engineers or go into technology and not necessarily pursue something in the entertainment industry? It's a bit more unorthodox.
Absolute facts. I would say thank God it was really my parents are one in a million, one in a
Yes,
billion.
yes.
You want to say whatever you want. Like they're unique. I mean, every parent's unique, obviously, but like my parents supported me from the get go. They were actually the ones who enrolled me into Hindustani classical training in the first place. Like they were the ones who, you know, how people talk about getting discovered by like a record label or like an A&R person, artist and repertoire. They were the ones who discovered me.
Oh.
So like they're the ones that I think, dude, it's your passion. Go ahead and do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they even went so far as to say, look, man, money is the byproduct. Don't even like if you love what you do, that will come soon. Yeah, and obviously now becoming an adult, you know, of course now you're gonna like worry about the more entrepreneurial side. And I'm a Gujarati. I have I have those stereotypes, those expectations on me too. We come from a long line of amazing rich businessmen. So God willing, I will live up to that. But riches or not, music is my vehicle. Yeah, no, yeah. And they were the ones that brought me there. So when I wanted to study Berkeley, I think actually they were one of the ones who really first
encouraged you.
Yes, because when Berkeley, what do you call it? Like we first found out through, guess of all things, the Berkeley Indian Ensemble.
No way.
That's what got us. Cool. Yep. And so ever since we saw that, they're like, oh my God. A.R. Rahman has worked with Berkeley Indian Ensemble. Shankar Mahadevanji has worked with the Berkeley Indian Ensemble. Dude, you need to join Berkeley.
Yeah.
So, like, ever since then, it was a mutual dream. And
That's
then
awesome.
now, praise God, I'm graduating this year.
Yeah, that's so exciting. I think it's also, like, a bit different than, let's say, some normal paths. But also, you grew up doing that. You know what I mean? Like, with some others, it's more of a transition as they get into adulthood. But for you, it's been something that you've done kind of throughout your childhood, so it's cool to see the progression of that, and I see how involved they are with it, and it's super awesome, and they really are your biggest supporters. With shows like Never Have I Ever and Indian Matchmaking going mainstream, you know, like everyone knows about it, how do you think it's been with South Asians being more represented in the media, and do you think you have like any part in that?
Beautiful question. I mean, all right. I've been thinking of this answer, and I'm like, I know this may be a bit controversial, but I don't know, man. I with me, my experiences, I feel like it only makes sense to say. You know, like I feel like, you know, all right. I mean, I have not seen Never Have I Ever. Okay. I have not seen Indian Matchmaking. I've heard of these shows.
Yeah.
I've seen a bit of the trailers. I think I saw. I forget the names of the shows, but the actress who's in Never Have I Ever, I've seen another show by her.
Okay.
Where she plays the role of Bhanu.
I don't know if I've seen that.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. And I've also seen this. There's this
even,
show called
Avantika, like in Mean Girls, the new Mean Girls and stuff, like all that stuff, the representation.
Yeah. So and there was also another show I watched called Metro Park, which is like I literally lived at Metro Park, so like that was very close to home. Yeah, very cool. Omi Vedyaji stars in that as one of the stars. Yeah, very cool. So I would say this. See, I really feel like, you know, to me, there seems to be two stereotypes currently in the media. Mm-hmm. There is either the South Asians who are like super conservative, super like entrenched in their culture, and predominantly Hindu, and nothing against, you know, like not to say anything about any religion, but like this is just what I'm noticing. I see these people, and then you have the, again, predominantly, you know, playing the role of like someone in a Hindu family or something, but like they're very liberal and they're very like like, you know, modern values, you could say, right? Yeah. That all that. And so I've always seen these two extremes. What about the people who are in the middle? Yeah. What about the people from different faiths? Yeah. Because South Asians were not just these stereotypes. And so you ask me what my part is. I just want to live. Yeah. And as I live, I want people to see, because again, my life totally breaks the mold in a few ways. So I want people to know that, you know, intersectionality is the greatest gift you can be given. Because no matter what you all share, it's a paradox almost, I think. No matter what you all share in common, there's something that makes you and me different that nobody can copy. And in fact, I would say it's a bunch of factors, right? That's the case with every human, and that's what makes you, you could say, a unique wavelength in the rainbow. Without you, the rainbow loses its color, even if just by a fraction. And at the same time, where does all this color come from? A white prism or a white.
Yeah.
So
something unexpected.
Yeah, I guess you could just say, Vasudevam Kutumbakam, we're all one family. So, family's not just one person, but we're all a family.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of progress that has been made with Asian representation in the media, but there's definitely so much still to go. We still first need to be more represented, but two, still there's so many different stereotypes that are being represented that need to be shattered. And my next question is, do you have any really funny or memorable moment from your career?
Yeah. Funny is I can't think of funny, but memorable. All right. I know I've said it. I know I've said this before, but I really do mean it. I think the messages that I've gotten from people on social media are like just gold. There have been people who, have said that they were about to like kill themselves, like commit suicide. And then they heard my music and then heard my story and they're like, I want to live.
That's so powerful.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's incredibly humbling. Like stuff like that. I remember there was one message I think I'd seen someone is like, maybe someone they know or they themselves were battling like stage 4 cancer. Stuff like this. Like
wow.
That to me.
That's a career high. I mean,
that's it.
It's a lot. Wow.
Straight up.
That's like hard to go up from. Wow. And then my next question is, do you have any misconceptions or stereotypes that you would like to debunk about South Asians in the music industry?
Ooh. South Asians in the I think it would be the same that I said about the media in general. You can't put anybody in a box, because we're just all that unique. I think, the more that not to say that there isn't a right and there isn't a wrong, but everybody is here, and it's funny too because coming from the speaking industry, I kind of realized a little while back, I'm like, wait a minute, we're all preaching the same thing, but like literally just in different ways and with different stories. And so I think that's really the human experience. I think we're all we do all have the same general purpose, and yet the stories that we have and the passions that we have and the goals that we have and the kind of legacies that we want to leave, yours is different than mine. So even though we may have the same purpose, I can't fulfill, even though we have the same purpose, I can't fulfill your purpose because you can do it in a way that I can do it in a way that you can't. And so there's just so much beauty to that. I am all for, the people just who break the mold. Just in general, I would just say that, just because, you're brought up, not to mention too, you can't really choose where you're born. So there's that aspect of it too. It's a beautiful thing because I think that's how I've come to know, like, look, man, how much of a blessing my life is. Like this, the family I'm in, the condition that I have, the gifts I was given, this is God given. But at the same time, right? What do you call it? Just because you're born into a certain situation or a certain circumstance or I don't know, a certain expectation, a certain stereotype, that doesn't mean that's you. It just doesn't mean that's it.
Kind of do your thing, make your place in the world, and do you. My next question is, what's the most rewarding part of what you do?
You know what? I would actually kind of go back and just say that those memorable moments I talked about, those are some of the most rewarding. But I also think that being a musician, and that's only part of my career, but also speaking, I think just being on stage or recording in a studio like we were doing, like that is just the joy of being in the present moment. I think, and sometimes I forget that, I think all of us humans, we can forget that because we get so wrapped up in our work and we could have the best job in the world, but sometimes we get stuck. We feel we get stuck writing emails, or we get stuck, you know, cut editing a video or mixing a song, or anything. Doing a meeting or whatever it might be. I don't ever want to let myself get that stuck that I forget to miss out on living.
Yeah.
And I think music, that it's so incredibly such a blessing to be a musician, because I think it affords that to me in a way that most other careers just don't. And I want to be able to, through my music, even if it's just an emotional or intellectual or spiritual sense of that kind of freedom, that's what I want to give people, because I know that not everyone is going to be in the same situation that I can be. But who knows, too? Our generation, with AI and everything, if we use it right, if our hearts are in the right place, we can probably be the most creative generation that the world has ever seen.
Yeah, I think it's also somewhat like a storytelling outlet. I mean, you get to tell your story through your music and through a passion that you love, and that's so special and beautiful.
Exactly. Yeah.
Next question. Who are your influences within and outside the South Asian community?
Great question. I would say that, within the South Asian community, I think hands down my biggest influence is my guru's, who's Pandit Jasraj Ji. He was the doyen of the Mewati Gharana that I told you I study as a part of. I think the biggest quality that, at least in my family, that we found so unique and attractive about him was his just soulful, like his sweet, tender voice. And it's funny because now, like before, when I used to rap, even in the studio, like when I was still learning the difference between performance and studio recording, I was just like, all holds bar, da 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 da. And now, with my mom's production and like coaching up when she records me, like we're getting into a much more chill vibe. And so I think you could say that really he was the inspiration behind that. He must have played a role in some way. And of course, my guruji, like proper Lalita Mathurji, who's been teaching me for like the past 13 years. So yeah, because of her, I'm here, because of Bade Guruji. Also, and she's not the only Guruji I had by far, but my main one. In terms of without the South Asian community, Eminem.
Oh yeah, love Eminem.
Yeah. Eminem. Actually, also Matty B Raps.
Okay.
He was the one.
I remember him. I've seen a lot of his music videos.
There you go. Yeah. I think because he was one of those rappers who, along with when I saw the Disney movie Let It Shine.
Okay.
Him and the other, I forgot the guy who played Cyrus there, but they basically really, I love the way that the guy, tried to show his dad in the movie Let It Shine. Hip hop is not the devil's music. And like that movie just kind of changed my understanding. Being born in a standard Desi household, like being punished for just saying the word heck. Oh, sorry, Dad. But like, yeah, like that led to this pure rhythm, pure plus rhythm. That's literally what that means. So yeah, I owe that to people like Mighty B Raps and people like, I forget again the guy, but a guy who played, I think it was Cyrus, and Let It Shine. You've got people like Mr. David Augustine Jr., D1, with his motto "Be real, be righteous, be relevant." Like so many, there's a whole army of people like him out there, but I haven't seen a lot of South Asians filling that space. Mm-hmm. That's something I want to do.
You're someone filling that space, so gotta do it yourself.
I'm doing that, yeah.
And my next question is, do you have any advice for someone aspiring to be a part of the music industry as a South Asian?
Yeah. Again, I would say be true to your values and be true to your values. Be true to your gifts and be true to the unique way in which you fulfill your purpose.
Super important. And I think it's also within the music industry, I feel like South Asians are now starting to make their way into it, because I feel like for instance, like acting, movies, and TV shows, we've kind of made our way into it somewhat, but I still feel like the music industry kind of has a void that needs to be filled. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I think you're doing a great job with helping to fill that void, but there's space for so many others as well. Yeah.
There's space for every one of us. I think it's as simple as that.
Yeah. And with that, do you have any upcoming projects or shows you want to share about?
Well, God willing, this year is supposed to be the year that I would call a musical explosion. Mm-hmm. So I was blessed to put out a song last month with two of my Berkeley classmates, Sydney Jones, Stephen Coleman. It's called Limitless People. So that's out. And this is as of the date of us recording this, which is like February 23rd, 4th, whatever. I'm working on another song with a Berkeley professor of mine. I have a few songs in the works with like Berkeley classmates. So that I want to put out, God willing, in the next few months. And at the same time, it's crazy me saying this right now, but like I've told people, my mom says for like 10 years or more now, that I want to put out my own album.
Yeah, really exciting.
Yeah.
Hopefully that'll be soon.
Yeah, no, by the time, the goal is that by the time I graduate Berklee College of Music, which is end of June this year, that will be when it comes out, like July.
Super exciting to think about and see.
I'm super excited. So those are things, and then just living the musician's life afterwards. But
then to finish off this portion of the interview, do you want to share any of your original raps?
Sure.
Okay.
Y'all want something fast or something like slow? Like, just tell me.
Whichever one you want.
Okay.
Surprise me.
So I rise from pain to where my purpose lies. Feel my heartbeats, boom bars, leave them surprised. This book never ends with this pen. I was right, this is the spirit of my words. Yeah, I'm shining Christ light, but flowing like water. My fire gets hotter, the beat rocking harder, but taking me farther. Cleaning up, jump started, the ragga rap, potter, and poetry chatter. Music is my fodder, the complexity of my trap and rap's dexterity beckons whim. Cause I truly, fully am a tour de force to be reckoned with. Rap blacksmith, silver 7 times a sift. Paradigm shifts, men bridges or make riffs. I make grooves and twos to move with sooth, but me and you and keep it 110% the truth. Twinkle eyes, calls divine, will sell my soul, not worth the gold, not here to kill, despite good will, so peace be still, and my share of skills help seal. You can tell I'm filled with zeal, cause this is only inception, hip-hop's reigning succession. I'm here to help reclaim a lost kingdom, faded in regression. So here arrives the next heir, to separate the wheat from the tare. I'ma stay bold and I won't be scared, but even in my height, my mission will stay clear. I'm ushering in a new era since, what a crossroads, stakes are immense. That's why I'm pure rhythm, clean and rinsed. I may not be the rap god, but I am a rap prince.
I love it. That was so good.
Thank you.
Thanks. That was a great way to end it off.
Oh, no, thank you
so much.
Thank you. Yeah. I appreciate you asking.
Of course.
That's photo worthy.
So, what is your favorite or the most unique place you've performed?
Most unique. There's so much in every place, but I don't even know where to begin. I would say maybe the most unique place is Malaysia.
That's pretty cool.
Just because by virtue of it being such a like cool, quote unquote exotic place, and the big stadium, the fan energy was just beyond the roof. That was also really cool. So yeah, for those reasons.
Is that your favorite too?
Favorite? That's the thing. I don't really have a favorite. I just, every single one is unique, and so I just can't compare.
And do you collect anything?
Ooh, do I collect? I used to collect Pokemon cards. I used to try and collect Beyblades. I used to just have a bunch of like animal and dinosaur toys when I was little. Different things like that. I don't really collect anything now. Maybe if anything, it's just making new, friends and relationships like that.
Friends, I love it.
Yeah, that if you want to call that a collection, that's what I love to,
Since you're a musician, what's your favorite song? Hard question.
Hard question. You know what? I remember when we were talking earlier in the day, and you introduced me to a bit of Tyler the Creator, and you were talking about storytelling rap. One of the first things that came into my mind was, have you ever heard of Kendrick Lamar's How Much a Dollar Costs?
Heard of Kendrick Lamar. I don't know if I've heard that right, that specific song. So I'll have to search it up.
Again, I can't choose a favorite, but when we were talking about Tyler the Creator, I thought of that song. Okay. So I'm just putting that out.
I love it. And his recent Super Bowl performance was amazing. So super cool. So love the reference.
I actually was, when he was saying turn this TV off, I'm like, imagine if they had turned the TV off for like 10 whole seconds.
Power move. Drop the mic. I love it. Boom. You've traveled a lot and like a lot of different cuisines. What's your favorite food or dish?
Another
I know,
super
hard
hard
question.
Yeah, I'm into everything, whether it's Italian, Indian, and this is no specific order, by the way. Whether it be Mexican, it be just American stuff, like whatever it is, I just love it. Anything that of course, vegetarian is just it's good. I love it. I can't compare. But some of my favorites when I was younger, ever since I was young, my mom used to say like, "What's your favorite food?" And I would be like, "Pav bhaji."
Pav bhaji.
Pav bhaji. So that was one.
So good.
Then I fell in love with paneer bhurji.
Okay.
Chole. I know we've been having chole lately,
Yeah.
so chole is good. Yeah, there's some of my favorites.
Lots of options. A lot of Indian, I see.
Yeah,
Of course.
Oh, and
Stick with
dosa,
heritage.
of course.
Oh yeah, a classic. What's your favorite animal?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. What's
Lots
up?
of
Like,
favorites,
there's so many favorites. But okay, I can tell you a couple because
Okay.
being a paleontologist, like wanting to be a paleontologist when I was a kid, the saber-toothed cat was one of my favorites. In terms of dinosaurs, Spinosaurus has always like captivated my imagination. Or just in terms of living animals, I used to be a bird feeder for a very long time.
Really?
Yes.
That's
So
really cool.
it's just I recently just hadn't done it. But I would say the northern cardinal was always one of my favorites. Very beautiful bird. Yeah, those are some of my favorite animals.
I love it. I love it. And what's your favorite color?
Favorite color? Blue.
Blue. I like it. And then lastly, of course, musician. Who's your favorite singer or band?
Who's your okay? So a favorite singer. I have a couple. I would say obviously going back to like my Indian classical roots. My buddy Guruji Pandit Jasraj, he's like just phenomenal when it comes to singing, and I think the biggest thing that a lot of people, like not just me, have found I guess attractive about his singing is that his voice is incredibly sweet.
Oh.
It's like sometimes I think there's actually been a bit of a stereotype around Indian classical vocal musicians of like we're a very rough voice, like it's just like it just is,
Yeah.
But there's nothing really wrong with it. But the way that somehow his training happened, his voice stood out because of that. So that's from Indian classical music. In terms of hip hop, one of my favorites has always been David Augustine Jr. Mr. David Augustine Jr. He's older than me. He goes by the stage name D1. He's from New Orleans, and when it was, I think I love his motto that he lives by: be real, be righteous, be relevant.
I love that. That's
So
really awesome.
that
Be real,
has been-
be righteous, be relevant.
That's kind of what that's what it's showed. Yeah, exactly. For real. For real.
Well, thank you so much for letting me interview you today. It was great to hear your story and everything and some of your favorites. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.